Hi guys, it's PB. So today we're going to look at a new tool or invention, and it's called the Fluxuator. I've got them here in the bag. This is my 22mm one for fluxing pipes ready for soldering. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's another invention. They've tried to reinvent the wheel. I'm perfectly happy with my tub of flux and my brush. But just hear me out. I like to have an open mind. So we're going to have a look at it. We'll give it a chance. We'll have a look at it, see what it does, see what it's about, and then you can make your mind up. Hopefully this video will help you. So we all know the traditional way is you've got your pot of flux, tub of flux, although I put mine in my own tubs and I drill a hole in the lid to keep the brushes. The trouble with that is if you're not using a lid, so let's say you've got some, I don't know, overflux, you've took the lid off and then you've started coring your fluid out, you've covered it in brick dust, you've got to at least scrape the top layer off that to get that sorted. Or let's say the chippy's working above you and he's just drilled through the joist, all the sawdust has gone in your flux. It's messy, the brushes are messy, you put it down, or you've not done what I've done, you've not got the hole in the lid, you've put the lid back on, you finish with your brush, you've got to clean that, or you've got to put it down somewhere. It can just be really messy, and that's why the guys have come up with this invention. So the idea is everything's in this unit and it's protected. You've got the cap on there to protect the brushes, all the flux is contained, you're not really going to get any on your hands, on your kit, on your knees, on the floor, on the walls. Okay, so let's have a look at how it works. You've got your flux in this refill canister here, and then it pushes it up through these channels. We'll just take the protective cap off, and then it coats these 4 brushes. If you feel like you've not got enough flux on the pipe, just give it 1 or 2 clicks and it feeds more onto the brush head, and then you're good to go again. This is a 75g refill of Copalux flux. Now it's a self-cleaning flux. It's I don't know if you can see there on the end of that pipe, it's pH 7, which is neutral. Okay, now that's been on that pipe for a minute, and I did exactly the same with the power flow flux, but the difference is the power flow is a pH of 2 or just under 2, which is acidic. Okay, so it's almost as good performance as the acidic, but with a pH that's neutral. So that's the Copalux flux. So the refills come 75 grams like that, and you just unscrew it and then get your new refill out, attach that on, and then that becomes your protective cap. The cap is to stop any kind of crap getting in there onto your brushes and ruining your flux. The other thing to show you is in the end you have still got a brush. So if you've got a really tight angle, or the pipe's close to a wall and you can't get this in, you can still use the brush and it stores neatly in the end, again minimising the mess. So get the piece of pipe that you need to solder up, clean the end as you would do, and then into your fluctuator, couple of turns, and that's evenly coated the end of the pipe with just the right amount of flux. There's not too much flux there. Now I'll show you on this socket, we'll just give that a clean. When I put the socket onto the pipe now, if you can see inside, there's no flux has gone into the fitting. Okay, so we've got an evenly coated end of pipe, but no flux has gone into the fitting that's going to get into the system, and then you can just give it a wipe and get rid of any excess around the edge, and then you're ready to go. It just makes it a lot cleaner, and you can be confident that you've got the right amount of flux, not too much. Now if I quickly show you with my pot, I'll clean the brush. That's an even coat, but I would say there's probably a bit more on there than there was when I used the Fluxuator tool, and I've got some on my finger. So it's just a cleaner way. It's another way of doing it. I'm not saying it's the better way. You'd make your mind up, but I've been using it now for a couple of weeks, and I'm leaning towards using the Fluxuator tool. You can see I've got them in my bag there. They fit in quite neat. I have still got my original tubs, one because they're both full and I'm not wasting it, happens if I drop it? Okay, so I think that shows it's a well-made bit of kit. I dropped it about 10 times and you can see there's no damage there. So there's no worries. Okay, so that's the Fluxuator tool. Hope this review's been helpful. Happy soldering. Keep those parts nice and straight. Cheers, guys.
Hi guys, you have to bear with me here, it's my first video. Just giving an honest review on the Fluxuator I've just got it at the trade show. Not gonna lie, thought it would be a bit slower, thought it'd be a mess about. Wasn't just too sure, but I bought one anyway, because you've got to try these new things. I must admit, I'm actually quite surprised. It's not any slower, same sort of speed. The 15 and the 22, they're actually the same size. So if you look at the 22, that's the size of the brushes. Ignore the extra flux in there, I've just turned it a bit too many times. And then the 15, here, exact same size, just has longer bristles. And people were saying you could just use the 15 and the 22. Two problems I found with that. The flux is going up the inside of the 22 mil pipe, and the depth is slightly different, so it bottoms out too early. Whereas I found the 22 is slightly deeper, so it works better. It's really simple. Just goes in, here we go, in, quarter turn, out. And it's just, as you can see, it's flux to perfection. Takes a bit of getting used to, especially with turning it every 2 times every 4 fittings, but once you got it, great bit of kit, so I would recommend one. So unlike me to like changes, but I actually quite like this one. Great under a floor as well. I've saved at least half a tub of flux with wastage, so 1 thumbs up for the Fluxuator.
Hi guys, just a quick re-review of the Fluxuator that I've been using today in this heating system. Now, I thought as well it was going to be a wee bit of a gimmick, you know, what was wrong with the old tub of flux and the brush in it, but it's made the job a lot easier, where I'm going to show you now the state of the inside of my flux tub. Now, that's on a good day, where this I could see being a huge benefit, especially under a floor. The amount of times you're in one section, you've got to crawl through to the next, and by the time you get there it's full of cobwebs and God knows what else. With this thing, chuck it in the bag, chuck it in the pocket, you're good to go. If you want to be really OCD, just put the cap on, protect the bristles. Now, Sean pointed out yesterday about the two of them being pretty much the same, but the bristles are just different. So apparently you can use the 22, but I haven't used 15 yet, but I can see what Sean's saying in that the flux is going up inside the pipe and nobody's wanting that. The only issue I've found with it is there can be a slight delay when you're clicking to bring the flux through. So just give it a click, give it a second even, and then I'll show you now in a bit. Now, I filled mine up because I've had this problem with it delaying. Put it in, 1, 2, done, good to go. Simple. So, 2 thumbs up for me.
times, loads of innovative ways of putting flux onto your pipes. You used to use your finger, didn't you? Get your finger, put it on like that. Jobs are good. I used to get my missus' toothbrush, dip it in, put it on, sneak a toothbrush back in the morning so she'd never even noticed. Just lately we've been having proper flux brushes that we can dip into our flux, put onto our pipe so everything's nice and flux. Because I love plumbing that much, I used to put it on the tongue and then caress it onto the pipework. But now, no need for that anymore. There's a new kid in town, it's called a Fluxuator. Get yourself one of these, you just pop it on there, twist it, jobs are good, and that's why I love plumbing!